Okay, so I have this Continental freezer, drawer freezer, and they said the breaker was stripped. I've got it opened up, and I'm going to show you. I'll walk through this quick. Nope. Here we go. Worktop freezer, number 5, stripped. So I have it off at a switch over there. I'm going to reset this. Get over here and we'll show you what we're gonna do. Okay, so it's off. I've actually got it killed here. This panel goes up here, and this has kind of a wiring diagram. Alright? So I don't know if you can see all these terminals here. They correspond to this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go item by item, and we're going to isolate components and see when you turn it on, it doesn't trip right away. So I'm going to show you. So this comes on, and it's not going to trip until it wakes up and starts activating components. So either there's a short in a certain component, right? So like if this wire was rubbed out right here, the moment there was power, it would trip. So either there's a short or there's a bad component. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with left to right compressor. So if you look, this red wire, this stays right here, this runs in to this wire, which runs up to the compressor. So I buy that. So I'm going to pull the red terminal. Now this is a little tricky because it says that these two are the compressors, but that's not entirely true. Because if you follow this one back, it goes to the board. So what happens is, this is also the compressor terminal. This powers that and then sends it through. Remember I said it attached to this wire, this red one? So I want to look at where else this white wire goes, right? So you got the red on the hot side, and this white wire connects right here. This neutral bar, all of these white wires, they share the connection. I want to completely disconnect. I don't just want to disconnect the hot. I'm going to disconnect both sides. I'm going to fire that up. This is going to start to wake up. It's going to run its diagnostics. And if the unit trips, again, we're going to put that back, and we're going to move to the front heaters. Right? If it doesn't trip, then we know we've isolated the part where the problem is. So this is flashing. When this stops flashing, you'll hear a click, and it'll trip or it won't. Right? It'll start spinning. Actually, it won't start spinning because I haven't disconnected. You should hear the click of the engagement of the board. Still not calling. Click. So we're still running. So that means my problem is in the compressor part for sure. So I can test this. I'm contemplating the right way and the wrong way. So I can test this by taking this neutral bar, putting it back on, and taking this and putting it back on. And I bet we'll trip. There's something else to be done though. Hang on. I'm gonna leave 2 birds at 1 stone here. I'm gonna take my meter. I'm gonna set it for amps. I'm gonna clamp it on one of the leads of the compressor. Okay? So either I'm gonna make this connection and there's a short and it's gonna trip right away, or I'm gonna overamp and it's gonna short. Right? I'm gonna show you this while I make the connection. She started. Oh, did you see that? 8:15:27. This is a 20 amp breaker. So the fan started running, the compressor didn't, and it pulled 25 amps, which is what tripped the breaker. So compressor won't start. Could be bad starting components, could be bad compressor. It's a pretty young compressor, so I wouldn't think that. I killed the switch over there, didn't know if you caught that, so I'm gonna turn that back on. And, pardon me. Alright, so there's our outlet. I've got a outlet slide. Yeah. Okay, so going through the back, the compressor start components had a cover on it. And we have a relay and a safety switch. And you can see there's 3 terminals there. So these start components may be bad. This may be why it didn't start. Or it may be that the compressor's locked up. So they have these hard start kits that show you how to hook it up. So we're gonna put this on there, and if it fires up, then we know the compressor's fine, and we'll get the information and we'll order these correct start components, but it'll run with that hard start kit until they get here. And if this doesn't work, then we call the manufacturer and start talking about new compressor. All right, so I've got this wired up. We fired up the unit. Now the question, when it calls for cooling, will it start or will it pop again? This unit's only a 1.5 years old, so the compressor will be under warranty, but it's still a headache dealing with it. I'm just waiting for it to kick in.
Are there doors switches on this?
No, it's not going to affect that. Tripped. Wah, wah, wah. Bad compressor. Terrible.